Do you know who the most notorious outlaw of all time is? I have been researching the life of Jesse James. I will provide you with information on his childhood, reason for crimes, and his most known crimes. According to PBS published in 2010, he was born on September 5th, 1847, to Zerelda Robert James. He was the third of the four kids. Older brothers Frank and Robert, who died as an infant, and a younger sister, Susan. He grew up on a slave farm in Clay County, Missouri, where his father was a popular Baptist minister. As a young boy, Jesse watched his older brother Frank go off to fight in the Civil War. Because Frank was a Confederate soldier, many Union soldiers came to the Jesse's family. One day, militiamen came and tortured James and his stepfather. Many believed this sparked Jesse to be an outlaw. In 1864, the 16-year-old joined his first bloodthirsty guerrilla gang where they terrorized Union enemies in Missouri. He participated in the Centralia Massacre, where 22 unarmed and 100 Union soldiers were butchered. After the war, most of the gang members returned to civilian life, all but Jesse and Frank James, that is. Because of the Confederate loss, the brothers decided to keep fighting. James started to believe he was invulnerable to the law after robbing many banks, stagecoaches, and trains in the early 1870s. On April 24, 1874, Jesse James married his first cousin, Zerelda Amanda Mills. The two had two children together, Jesse Edward James and Mary Susan James. His most famous crime was committed on September 7, 1876. 8 members of the James Younger gang tried to rob the First National Bank in Northfield, Minnesota. The robbery failed terribly. 2 died on scene, while the other 6 escaped. 14 days later, the Younger brothers and Charlie Pitts were captured. This ended the James Younger gang. For the next few years, Jesse and his family lived peacefully in Nashville, Tennessee. During this time, James became restless. In 1879, James gathered new recruits, which forms the James Gang. After forming the gang, they began a robbing spree. On October 8, 1879, Jesse James and his gang robbed the Chicago and Alton Brewery in Glendale, Missouri. They made $10,000. They then robbed stores in western Mississippi, then went on robbing stagecoaches and trains in Missouri, Kentucky, and Alabama. James and his gang did their final robbery on September 7, 1881. Yet again, they robbed the Chicago and Alton train in Blue Cut near Glendale, Missouri. This time they only made $3,000 and got jewelry off the passengers. After the robbery, Jesse believed his member Ed Miller took too much, so he killed him. Jesse and Frank James each had a $5,000 bounty on them. In November of 1881, Jesse moved his family to St. Joseph, Missouri. He planned to give up his life of crime. Almost a year later, while at his home with his wife and kids, Jesse James was shot in the back of the head by one of his former members, Bob Ford. Bob Ford conspired with Missouri governor to make this happen. Jesse James died at the age of 34. As you can tell, Jesse James had a rough, action-packed life where he made many enemies but very few friends.